From the Central Business District in Abuja, this is Third Eye Africa TV. The program is Nigeria and Politics. The focus, June 12th, and the lessons therein. Since 1993, when elections were freely conducted but annulled thereafter, no results, today we are celebrating Democracy Day in Nigeria, marking that day. So from 1993 to date, what has passed through Nigeria? What kind of water has passed through the bridges in Nigeria? We want to x-ray all of that as we move on to discuss June 12th, the lessons for Nigeria. My name is Ben Shaman, and I have a guest, a lecturer, who also had a test of June 12, 1993. I'm talking of Dr. Peter Daniel Edeh, a senior lecturer at the Abuja University, which is now called Yakubu Gowon University. So we want to welcome you to Third Eye Africa TV.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, viewers. Happy Democracy Day.
Yes, June 12th. What do you recall about June 12th?
Yeah, June 12th. A lot. I recall a lot. But before I get to talk about what I recall about June 12th, permit me to have a retrospect towards its history. Let's look at history, how we got to June 12th. Today, if you are talking about June 12th, the young people don't know where Nigeria was coming from and what June 12th is all about. And today, people are celebrating it in their different ways. Those who experience it live and direct, then those who participated in it, those who caused it to be a memoriam today. Now, before June 12th, we have to recall what Nigeria was. Yes, Nigeria gained high independence in 1960. And that was as a result of the struggle, the coalition that took place then with the NCNC and this MPC, and they got Nigeria independence. We had the First Republic. And shortly after that, 1966, we had the military intervention, what you call the military coup, and they stopped that. They stopped the process of democracy. That led us into the Civil War. And the Civil War lasted for about 3 years. And after the Civil War, we had a succession of military junta. Of course, it came to a kind of an end in 1979 when Obasanjo, the former president, General Olusegun Obasanjo, had to hand over power to the Second Republic. Nigeria was very good. Nigeria, read my lips, was very, very good. What we know then was kobo, toro, pound. Nobody knew the dollar. Now, the military handed over power to Shagari of the MPN. And then that period, Shagari had his first phase of his governance, and it led us into, while going into the second phase of his governance, the military took over. And that was General Buhari and Edeh led military government. These two didn't last. Shortly after Buhari took over power and trying to fix Nigeria, yes, Nigeria was tensed even then. As tensed as Nigeria was, I can still beat my chest and tell you that Nigeria was quite better than what it is today. Why? Because people were tailored into rules, obeying rules, regulations, and all that. But because it was not a democratic government, the process continued. We had another junta. IBB took over, placed Buhari under House arrest, and took over government. That was in 1985. And then General IBB became the military president. He became the military president because there was a transition within that period. And he conducted the election of the 1993 that brought us about the June 12th. That was a transition that would have led to the Third Republic at that period. But it never happened. Nigeria was undergoing a kind of process. Nigeria was tensed up. We had issues that Nigerians were trying to address. Economic issues, political issues, the crave for democracy, and we got to this point where, in trying to hand over power, in trying to bring democracy to bear, there was the creation of two political parties, the NRC and the SDP. And that brought about that election that was annulled.
That's the June 12th.
That was annulled. That election was properly won. We witnessed it. We danced into it. I have one fascinating thing I can't forget is the kind of music that played in those days for MKO Abiola. Children will sing it and all that. I tire for this life, oh, na so wahala. I tire for this life, oh, na so palava. My friend, which one you dey go? This little money I dey get, na so transport they take am, things like that. And then it will end up with MKO, is our man, And there was a lot to be given out by the campaign that period. But come to think of it, the military never wanted to relinquish power. The military wanted to transit power
from khaki to
from
civilian.
khaki, yes. And
from
that
military
was
to democracy.
exactly, that was where the idea of military president started playing.
And that was IBB.
And that was IBB.
Babangida.
He became the first military president because all other elections took place. The federal elections all took place. We had people in place, had governors in place. But the presidential election was annulled. And when it was annulled, it became a problem. You begin to ask, when I say that Nigeria of yesteryears was better, between 1960 and about 1985, these were the oil boom years. We got from 1977 or thereabout to 1985. It was an oil boom period. And Nigeria had a lot. The Naira was already in the international market. The dollar was nowhere. What we knew was pound. You have 2 pounds to 1 Naira. Dollar was far down. And of course, Nigerians wanted a better life. And MKO, even as close as he was to IBB, tried to show that life by way of bringing, what they needed.
Yes, let me inject here in terms of a crucial lesson, even in 2023 election, was this issue of Muslim ticket. Those days, nobody bothered about Kingibe and Abiola as belonging to one religion. Even though you had Bashir Tofa and Sylvester Ugo, Muslim Christian, but people went for the Muslim. Today, it has become a very thorny issue. Why was it at that time it was accepted without questions? Today, there are 1,000,001 questions.
Good. I can answer that very, very simple. When Nigeria failed to toe the line of national development, many things started filtering in. We do not have a national philosophy that we follow. What is the National Development Plan? Initially, there was a National Development Plan. The first, second National Development Plan, this brought about all the military cantonments in Nigeria. And the second National Development Plan brought about all the first generation universities. And include the second National Development also brought about the second universities all over Nigeria. You see, a nation that is moving, with the trajectory of National Development Plan, you cannot bring anything in. Now, if you go into the military barracks, I'm sorry, I'm using the military barracks for instance, you discover that one thing that you will see is a mosque, a Catholic church, and a Protestant church. And they will call it Protestant. So it doesn't matter where you belong. If you are not a Catholic and you're not a Muslim, you belong to that Protestant. And it was like that. So you will find assemblies
And it
of
still
God.
remains there.
That is an order. It is there in the military. It's a national thing. When you go to all the cantonments, and so if you're a military man and you are going outside the barracks for any worship, you're on your own. What government has provided for you are these three environments for you to worship.
Yes, let me again inject before you continue. Now, this picture you've painted, I've seen in the social media, where someone snapped the Directorate of Islamic Affairs in the military of Nigerian Army and posted it. Oh, this is the Islamitization of the Nigerian Army. Then I saw some people said, look, this man, you are ignorant. You also have for the Catholics in the army, you have for the Protestants in the same army.
Yes.
Why are you featuring only the army and the Islamic one? So this is still part of the lesson.
Now, you see, this has been established in our national development plan. They are in our laws, in our constitutions. Even in our constitution holds it that in Nigeria you cannot go and even do wedding in any church that is not Catholic or the recognized Protestant and is recognized by the Nigerian law. I stand to be corrected. Now, the Catholic has their chaplaincy. The Protestant have the Protestant chaplaincy. The Muslim have their Muslim chaplaincy. As far as the plan has been, and that is what has been from the first national development plan. And so, for anybody bringing that up, there are selfish people who brought it up. Now, that brings us back to the idea that Abiola was a Muslim. King Edeh was a Muslim. And so all other, even there, nobody looked up to say these people are Muslims. I voted Abiola then as a young man. That was my first voting in Calabar. Are you getting me?
Yeah, as for me, I couldn't vote because I rather when I was sent to go cover the election in Abeokuta.
And you chopped the money.
All in the name of unifying Nigeria.
Yes.
But let's look at critically June 12th, the lessons when it comes to religion. Is religion dividing us? What is the most divisive thing? Politics or religion?
Now, if we must learn from the June 12th lesson, look at it. IBB, General Ibrahim Babangida, he was a Muslim, and he is still a Muslim. He was the military president then. Abiola, MKO Abiola, was a Muslim. And it was IBB who annulled that. Is his Muslim brother. He didn't do that on the base of religion. Let's keep religious sentiments aside. He never did it because of religion. So, but he has made statements, he has stated his regrets and whatever led to the annulment. I don't want to go into that so that I don't say certain things. Now, but what we should learn from there, that was a path to democracy. But we cannot question God at some point. For that to have happened, I want to believe that God allowed it to happen. And it happened. Or else, the extent at which Abiola went to fight for his right and all that, maybe he would have gotten it out after all. You
So
know?
yes.
So let's not bring all those who bring religion to play around politics are not doing justice to Nigeria.
Okay, now let's look at politics itself. So many people have vilified Abacha. The same with Babangida. And in the end, Abacha built the National Assembly. If you like, you call it, it has been modified or remodified. But Abacha built it with the hope that democracy will come. Now, democracy has come to stay. 26 years uninterrupted by the military. But what lessons are politicians learning?
From
I mean, this June 12 brouhaha, June 12 struggle, now they said democracy.
that
Today
is
is Democracy Day. How has, I mean, the
the
politicians helped to
politicians
unify Nigerians?
the politicians are not learning anything, and the politicians are not doing anything to help Nigeria. I'm saying this without fear of contradiction, and I can say it anytime, anywhere. If the politicians in Nigeria will put Nigeria on the right trajectory, then we will see it in their manifestos. We will see it even in their constitution enshrined, that is not even the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We will see it in their development plan. And we already have, a political party that is in government. And all those who have won elections at one point or the other. Who is talking about national development plan? Nobody. What is the philosophy of a Nigerian? If you take the Americans, as you are arriving into America, they are giving you paper for you to know what Nigeria is. I mean, what America is. This is America. You read and you understand where they are coming from and where they are going to. So if you become the president of the United States of America, you are not playing your bid. You are still going through what has been laid down that you cannot change. There are areas you cannot dabble into. And then you now look at what the Democrats will be saying and what the Republicans will be saying. They have their philosophy. What is the philosophy of any political party in Nigeria? What are they saying? What are they saying? If you understand, we have APC, you have PDP, you have ADC. What are they saying? One political party I've seen that if you put their philosophy on board, you can work with is something like ADC with a handshake. They talk about handshake. If you have a handshake, good. You know that you're talking about a human being. Eh?
Well, you have the national conscience with one eye looking at you.
One
Do
eye
you have
looking at you.
conscience?
So now, these are symbols that have been used and all that. We need to see a political party coming up with a document. This document will lead Nigerians to the desired, goal.
Yes, and that brings me to the issue of manifestos. Truly, I'd wanted to bring the manifesto of Chief MKO Abiola that we were given in Lagos those days. Jonathan Zungina was always with him, and they were the ones doing the sharing of many of these manifestos. You could see a kind of programs. If he won, this was what he was going to do in terms of sports. education, security, the media, and all that stuff. Today, are we really talking about manifestos when you look at the way and manner in which politicians jump from one political party to the other?
Now, you see, because we fail to have a national philosophy, we have no respect for our constitution. The National Development Plan, like I said, would have also checkmated the political parties, because you have to do you are working. It's just like you built a house as a landlord. Someone comes into that house. You have to maintain the house. The house must not deteriorate. He has to maintain the house. So he tells you what kind of seats he puts there. You know, what kind of television he's going to use, no screen type of television, an AI television that you just do like this. The weather is, and you begin to like, what kind of, you enter the room, there is no seat. He claps and everywhere begin to open. As another one tells you, no, he will come and he will put this seat here or put that seat there and put that seat there. That is bringing, the house is still there. You're only trying to make the house look better. Are you getting me? So if we have, I think we have the agency for national
National Orientation Agency.
That's national orientation. I don't know if this idea of national development plan falls under them.
Okay.
Good. But when that is there, they will be able to also culture what a political party is doing or what kind of manifesto comes out. Because you can't go away from what Nigeria has projected, that this is what we will do and this is where we are going.
Okay. Now let's
but rather to build on it. You build on it and make it better. We are looking at we are still being rated as third world if we have not fallen back to a fourth world.
Now, when you, in the course of this discussion, you discuss so much about the university system, education system, the generation between universities and all that stuff. Now, let us look at a key thing. People say education is the key to virtually everything. Now, looking at June 12th to now, and from June 12th behind to 60s, in terms of education, are we really getting it right? Science and technology, or even in management, are we really getting education-wise?
The answer is no. We are not getting it right. But there may have been so many things that Nigeria has done, and it looks as though, we are progressing in this. AI is here, that is there. But I can tell you categorically that we have not progressed. Now, before June 12th, those yesteryears, we had an educational system of
3, 3, 4.
No. It was 6, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4 or so.
Yeah.
6, 5, 4. Then it now changed to 6, 3, 3 system. 6, 3, 3, 4.
Yes.
Now, the idea behind the 6, 3, 3, 4 was the fact that at the first 6, where the child starts from kindergarten to, qualify to enter the secondary school, he is meant to know how to read and write. The first 3, what the idea then was to move Nigerians or the Nigerian youth to learn trades, 6, three, the first three, is that was when they brought in this, intro technology, woodwork, all, so that Nigerian
Building,
youth
welding,
can, exactly, you can do something.
piling.
Exactly. So that if a child develops till that JS3, he has learned how to be creative. He has learned to produce something. Even if he doesn't continue school, he can fend for his life because he has learned. And that would have also taken away all our children away from the streets and all that. But government did not back that system up. It would have created a free education so that children can get to that point and know that, yes. Now, the other three, now it prepares you into the university. Now, if you take the Nigerian system, everyone is looking at paper, going into the university to study what? And so we have today graduates, even professors, I'm sorry to say that, who are professors of engineering, mechanical engineering or auto engineering, yet they carry their cars to the roadside mechanic. So where had that taken us to? People are rushing to the university, all for what? University is meant for research. University is meant for people who will come look at all over issues in the country, from one field of life to the other, carry out research of that. But that is, our universities are not in that sphere right now. One, they are poorly funded. Two, if you write for grants so that you carry out the research, it's not given. They bring out some programs such that you are not aided in a manner that you carry out this research.
Okay, I'll pause you here. I will just go on a short break, and when we do come back, we'll look at security. Because those days, June 12, Palaver, Northerners were returning from the south to the north, Northerners going to the south, because some people were saying there was going to be a kind of a war. Well, it never turned out to be, but we'll discuss all of that. And of course, you've been watching Daniel, Dr. Peter Daniel Edeh of the University of Abuja, Yakubu Gowon University. My name is Ben Shema. We'll continue with that.
We're talking about South and the North. You talk about middle belt. Currently in Nigeria, we don't have middle belt. North Central is what we have. And they are included in the North. If the perception is because Nigeria is standing on a tripod, you have Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, they are the owners of Nigeria. That is a very wrong perception. These are major tribes in Nigeria. Simple.
Yeah.
Nigeria is owned by every single citizen of this country.
If you go to civilized nations, they possibly have, stratified their political parties such that those who play at the national level are there. And at the local level, you have other minor political parties playing there. And it gives sense of belonging to every citizen to be able to contest.
And in fact, once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven.
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
This is Third Eye Africa TV, exposing crime, savaging the nation.
Yes, in the midst of this June 12 crisis, some people felt that there was going to be a war, a kind of. Even to the extent that some people said, oh, not just war, Nigeria will be broken into different republics. And people were running to where they felt they would be safe. It never turned out to be. But we do have some internal conflicts, terrorism, ISWAP has come, Boko Haram, You have the Lakurawas now, you know. Some others are springing up in Kwara State. So in terms of security, I mean, what really is this issue that we cannot come out of it?
Thank you very much. In terms of security, yes, before June 12, there were issues that came up with Maitasini and the rest. Those were religious. And I bet you, they were silenced by General Buhari completely, if not annihilated. June 12 came. And because the Democrats were doing, we no go agree, we no go agree. The alarmists, it became as though, there will be another war that made people to start running, packing their things, going to the north and all that. Nothing they happen as far as Nigeria is concerned. Now, we have seen the idea, during the military regime, you never found any insecurity in Nigeria, Nigeria was already even being recognized, but they failed to pronounce Nigeria as a super nation. But as far as I know, my country, Nigeria is already a super, how do you call it? It's a super country. It's a super nation. Because we had our militaries all over the world going for peacekeeping, where there was even full-blown war. We had our military in Liberia, Sudan, Somalia, Liberia, Sierra Leone, name them. So, for Nigeria to have gone all that while, and you still look at Nigeria as what is playing on the space of Nigeria insecurity, I must say it here without fear of any contradiction, is one, the international community has hand in it. Those trading with it are there. Those who are politicians, Nigerian politicians, who key into it and saw it as a means of creating problem for the existing government are there. Those who are selling their arms, so long as there are confusion in the state, they keep selling their arms are there. And then those who took advantage of the fact that there is crisis in Nigeria, let us key in. They took advantage of it and they are going about it. Are you getting me? Now, the idea is that has come so, it has multiplied. It has a triple effect, that it has broken into different arms and people are taking advantage of it. It's rather unfortunate that the Fulanis are being, I'm sorry for calling the Fulanis, are being accused and all that. The Fulanis I see, fooling their cattle on the street. They can't do nothing to anybody. They can't. That is not their bidding. Of course, they will move around and look for what to eat. But where you see them creating problems and all that, there's someone behind them. There's definitely someone behind. There was recently a video of a very young man who put it up that all these people that are crying foul in Benue State, for instance, they should come out, let them tell their chiefs, let them come out and let them go into dialogue. The young man couldn't have just come out with it like that. Let's look at yesteryears, before all these insurgencies came to play. before we started hearing of Fulani herdsmen. How was Nigeria? The Fulanis were all over, everywhere, grazing, and nobody talks.
So we should be talking of the ADR, alternative dispute resolution.
I mean,
this young man you're talking about is talking.
Fulanis
dialogue.
were everywhere. We know them as nomads. Even in school, for me to hear the word first, it was in school that we have the nomadics and we also have the elites. But the only thing here is that the elites have used them as a cover. And I tell you, if you meet a typical Fulani man on the street, he will tell you that they are even ashamed that everywhere they go, they are accusing them of being terrorists. Some will say, look at them. I have them a lot in the university there. I sit and chat with them. They bring fura to my office. You understand? And I'll play and chat with them. And they were like...
And you are from Benue.
I am from Benue. Now, the most painful thing about the issue in Benue here, like I said, this thing has grown into multiple... it's multiple faceted, such that you find it difficult to actually... There are some mercenaries there. Let's not deny that fact. Whether I know it or not, it's immaterial. Some communities have had issues. We know communities that have had issues, those who went getting mercenaries. We also know that the Fulanis that came in and filtered, what is actually propelling that? You don't go treating the wound on the surface. You look for the cause, the source of that wound, and all that. And so, if there could be a dialogue, that is not a bad idea to go with. Then you find out, it is even in that dialogue, you actually know who is after what. But when you even refuse to dialogue, how do you know?
Okay. Well,
because where there is dialogue, who are you dialoguing with? If someone comes to you for dialogue, then it means that he has acknowledged the fact that he is a terrorist. He is the one burning your houses. He is the one killing your people. And for you to sit back and say, how do I sit with this terrorist to talk? No. Ask him why. Because you have already identified him implicitly. You have identified who he is implicitly. So
there should be dialogue.
There should be dialogue.
Okay.
Now,
yes.
If you look at our boundaries, some would say that our boundaries are porous. Yes. Our boundaries are porous. They are killing our soldiers all over there. Who has, who gave those who have that guts to look at a Nigerian soldier and kill? In those days, you say that one soldier is equal to 100 bloody civilians. Yeah? For you to kill one soldier in any vicinity, the whole of that village will go down. Today, you will kill thousands of soldiers and nothing is happening. And we have GOCs, we have the generals, we have all of them. Yeah? My dear brother.
Well,
who is fooling who?
I believe
we have we have the technical know-how. We have the technology that we need. Well, and if we don't have it, let us begin to develop them.
Yes.
We had the civil war. During the civil war, the Biafrans created what we call the Ogbunigwe. Where is that Ogbunigwe? It's in our museum. Why can't you get our engineers to look at that Ogbunigwe, redevelop it? We have the Red Devil. It's also there in our museum. Why can't you develop that technology? Put in money there and develop it and bring up something rather than going to buy arms from where I don't know.
Maybe
so,
the economy of the war, some people enjoy it.
There are people enjoying it. Today, you have what you call security deposit. during the military era and the First and Second Republic, we never had anything like security deposit. There was peace in Nigeria. When we started having, we can only have argument about politics, who becomes the president and not. Not people are dying.
Now
And
we have room for just one question.
all right.
And this question is June 12th is being marked. The same day, usually president would have been expected to do some broadcast to the country, to the nation, some assurances. It's shelved. It didn't take place. There's supposed to be military display. It also not been done. Rather, there was a joint session of the National Assembly. What's your take on all of this?
Well, I actually was waiting to hear fellow Nigerians this morning, but I did not hear it. And people say when someone never said anything, you cannot hear into his mind. That is one. And neither have I gotten, any report from the section from the National Assembly for me to make any comments about. But looking at it on a day like this, it was this same government. Okay, it was it's still APC government. It's still APC government that recognized June 12th. Remember, other government in the past never recognized June 12th per se, in as much as all Democrats will crave for this day. We will all say, let's have something. We have symposiums and here and there. You understand? Good. But June 12th, what is its significance? What is its significance? Why Nigeria tried to recognize June 12th? What does it signify? A day that, there was a democratically elected government in Nigeria, and that never happened. It was annulled. So what does it actually signify? Are you getting me? Now, are you taking it as that is the day that democracy first died? Or, the significance. Democrats, people will only make noise the way we are making now. And also, those who will hold one occasions at one point or the other, those who will make money out of it are also going out and making out of money. But for anything to be symbolic about it, if the president has made a statement, then we can hold on to such statements and begin to dialogue about.
Yes. Finally, we're seeing two democracy days. Let me put it this way. When PDP was in power, it was on May 29th. Then you have APC, it is now June 12th, to remember what we are discussing, June 12th. But I do remember Eagle Square, May 29th. Eagle Square was always turned into a carnival kind of a thing. You could also see people buying and selling traditional attires from all over the country, people drumming, dancing, singing. The presidency will be there, ministers, National Assembly, Nigerians from all walks of life, just celebrating democracy. Now, if you were to compare these two, are we actually,
Well, if you ask me, I'll tell you without any fear of contradiction that those celebrations are absolutely nothing. They don't celebrate democracy when the nation itself is not democratic in itself. We are tailored. Everything is happening based on some orders. Let's not be blind to it. you are celebrating democracy, your people are suffering on the streets. Hunger is hitting people. If you want to celebrate democracy, let the president come out and say today that the petrol, PMS that Nigerians are using is now 20 naira per liter. Aha! You are celebrating. Everyone will celebrate democracy.
But they also say it has to be a bit higher
Because-
to get foreign currency to develop the country.
Now, you are taking me into the where we are having problem. The problem of Nigeria is this idea of foreign currency. The monetary policy that Nigeria is operating is wrong. If I have my way, I will central bank to actually interpret for us. NMPC. These are the two places that are killing our economy. You're talking about monetary policy. You devalue our naira. We have the oil. I am producing yam. I can't eat it. You go, my yam is being taken abroad, elsewhere at lesser cost. I am producing, don't determine how much I sell it. Has Nigerians sit to ask why we take our oil out and we don't determine how much we sell it? Let's not go about. I get mad when I see all that. Why are you devaluing my naira to the dollar? What has America done to me for in that regard? Why devaluing it? Someone would say, this person doesn't know economics. That is not true. The economics, let us look at it clearly. You, what you have, you bring to the market. What makes the dollar having more value than the naira? Whereas the raw materials have been taken here. We have both human and natural resources everywhere. I used to tell my students that, you see, one thing you need to understand is that Africa is the Garden of Eden. Africa is the Garden of Eden. God was standing in Nigeria and taking and giving to other parts of the world. At the end, he forgot all the deposits. All the deposits are here. He forgot to give us a leader to look at the remain, and he went to rest.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
So until you bring this to bear, that Nigeria will take her product to the market and will sell it at the right price, it shouldn't devalue my naira. Why can't we refine? If the imported refineries are not good, we have the local refinery that you are calling substandard, but that is what Nigerians themselves were able to carry one drum, put together, and all. That is a technology. Why not develop that technology and make it better and then refine? Must you take it to the white man countries? Can't you give to even African countries alone and let them be? Nigerians can buy this oil and still live with. We don't need what they are bringing from abroad. We don't need them much.
And it is here that we have to end this program, Nigeria and Politics. Well, you've heard from him, you've seen him, Dr. Peter Daniel Edeh, Senior Lecturer, University of Abuja. He has told you what his mind is about June 12, about security, insecurity, development, the value of the Naira, who is responsible, and how this could be corrected. I want to thank you for coming to Third Eye Africa TV.
Thank you very much. Nigerians, I have this to tell you. Go to the farm. Produce your cassava. Produce your yam. Produce your millet. Produce them. If those merchants are coming to buy, sell to them at the right price. Let them not devalue our currency. Because we are producing. We have it, the raw one. Why are Chinese here? Why are they all over your villages? If they have it there enough, they are taking from you and then you devalue your naira? No.
Thank you very much. No is his own capital answer. My name is Ben Shemang. Till we meet again, this is Third Eye Africa TV. Thank you for watching, and
Thank
bye
you.
for now.